right, welcome back everybody to another wonderful episode of Banter on the Rocks. Today is Monday, April 13th, and if this is your first time here, welcome back to the show, of course. And to everyone who tunes in each and every week, thank you for all the support. And make sure you hit that follow or subscribe button so you're here for each and every weekly drop. And we had a bit of a break again. Life hits fast, and
Mhm.
but we are back. We are ready. Got a lot on our minds to talk
Yep.
about, and excited to be here for sure on this Monday night. And thank you so much for joining us. And on today's episode, we'll be diving into the topics of course, our banter takes as we do each and every week. And NBA takes regular season has ended, so we'll kind of have our wrap up there and heading into the playoffs. Coachella occurred over the weekend, big news there, and much, much more. And as always, we're bringing real talk, honest reactions, and plenty of banter along the way. And all right, we'll get back into it here. And as we do each and every week, we have our banter drinks of the week and what we're sipping on, why we chose it, and how it's fueling us for our energy on today's show. And I am going with an IPA back in SoCal,
Mhm.
much more easily accessible. I got a liquid candy
Okay.
by Tarantula Hill.
Yeah.
One of the classics, one of the greats.
Classics.
Um, Tasty every time. Much
Yeah.
needed after a Monday.
Yeah. No, that's good. They not so many IPAs up north?
They have a bunch. They have
Okay.
a whole lot. Yeah,
Okay.
Altamont, Drake's, really good
Yeah.
selection. There was a lot of good
Okay.
stuff up in the North Bay. I don't know why. I just feel like my favorites are down here. Anything from San Diego, like the what's it called? Pizza Port is
Pizza
always
Port,
good. I
yeah.
like some of
Hmm.
their products.
Yeah.
Made West, of course, Tarantula Hill,
Yeah. I
805.
love
Man,
those. Yeah. Okay.
a lot of
No,
good
just
stuff in SoCal.
yeah. Yeah. So SoCal's the place to be.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Lagunitas, hey, right around the
Yeah.
corner from where I used to live. That was good stuff
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, that's good too. But yeah, no, today I'm sticking to just hydration. It's been a busy month, I would say, for me, family life, all
Hmm.
that. So I'm sticking with ta just Taste Salud today. So the Jamaica. Still got a few
Yep.
packs. Like I say, we're not promoted by Taste Salud, but I always like to promote them. Great product, especially when you're under the weather. It went from warm to cold, and right now they have 20% off after their little Coachella weekend
Hey, oh.
online. So, like I say, not promoted. I ain't getting anything from Taste Salud, but man, if you haven't had it, try it out. Try it out. I know I got you into it, Tim, and
Hmm.
well, we've always said it on the pod. We promote great products, and that's a great product.
I downed the rest of the box I had over the weekend. Both kiddos got sick, and I surely blame the indoor jungle gym we went to over the
Yeah.
weekend. It's
Oh yeah, they
like
do
clockwork.
that.
Absolute clockwork getting sick from those things.
Yeah,
So I was like, you know what? Yeah, let's do it. Standard head cold situation.
yeah,
No better way to beat it than just get some hydration and
yeah,
immunity boost from
yeah,
Taste Salud. Hey, Taste Salud, honestly, hit us up. We're both here in SoCal now.
yeah,
You know, Josh Lavia,
yeah,
know you're here. So,
yeah.
brand ambassadorship.
Yeah, no, for sure. But yeah, no, big fans of the product. But yeah, that's what I'm doing
Yeah,
today,
it's good
just
stuff.
trying to get my hydration immunity back up. That's our drinks of the week. And we'll go straight into our the Wolfpack check-in, Tim's Wolfpack check-in. Check-in on the Wolves. EPL season's getting close to winding down, so I'll let Tim take it away to start.
Yeah, we had a bit of a hiatus. Kind of work handily because
Hmm.
we've had some weeks here that we missed, and
Hmm.
Wolves weren't really playing until this past week. Um, yeah, wasn't great. Wasn't great. We played played last Friday against West Ham, lost 4 nil.
Hmm.
Not a whole lot of fun. Certainly didn't seem like the break did us any justice. I feel like it did us harm
Yeah.
as we were playing much better before then. But yeah, I think relegation surely at our fingertips, which you know what I'm okay with because that's why I chose the Wolves. I kind of had a feeling we were going to be relegated.
Hmm.
I'm along for the ride. I think that's what makes it a lot more fun because when we're on top, it'll feel much more glorious. And, at least we aren't in the position of is it Tottenham Hotspur?
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
with was sent a video over this past week. Sorry, I'm going to curtail my broken heart of that 4-0 loss. And I'm going to try to make Wolverhampton, Wolves Kingdom here feel a
Yeah.
little bit better by talking about Tottenham Hotspur a bit,
Hmm.
where $3 billion stadium, about to be relegated. I don't think that they have much more fight to get out of there. And I think that's honestly what the players want at this point.
Hmm.
Was sent a video by our good pal Rob, part of the family, certainly part of the Banter family,
Hmm.
multiple appearances here. And it was kind of an in-depth analysis of what's going on there and the
Hmm.
amount of money that they're going to be losing after having a brand new
Oh
season,
yeah.
getting relegated. They're going to have to sell the whole team. Like the
Yeah.
whole team is all the players. Every single one is going to go. Kind of crazy, but hey, I anybody that's looking to play for a second tier team and but still be in a $3 billion stadium,
Hmm.
work your way up. Another thing is stat for you. I guess their average ticket cost is second in the Premier League,
Hmm.
and they're about to be relegated. So
Yeah.
that ticket price, big part of why they're going to have to
Oh
sell
yeah.
everybody.
It's crazy how the tides have turned for them because they've always been a top, not like the top, but never like close to regulation. They've lost quite a few of their best players in the last few years, and seeing them this low with how much their stadium costs, how much their players cost, and getting regulated, I think your budget gets cut almost like maybe a quarter to even like half. So what they're gonna lose on top of not being able to charge those top ticket prices, it's insane. I think they probably still have a good chance of coming back because it's a prestigious club, but we've seen it right now. I don't know if you know Leicester City. They won the
Okay. Yep.
they won the Premier League uh, 8, 9 years ago, maybe a little bit more, but they won the Premier League. And now these last years since then, they've been regulated. They're going to two years in a row being regulated, and they were a top club.
Wow.
So the tides could turn really quick once you get regulated. I think the Wolves are a team that have been going back and forth from regulation, championship to EPL. So I think they
Hmm.
know how to manage it. But Tottenham, this is going to be brand new territory for them, and it's insane. Losing
Yep.
1-0 to Sunderland, um, not a loss they could have had. West Ham beat the Wolves. Tottenham, what is their schedule coming up? Let's see what their matches are. They got Brighton. They got the Wolves. Wolves could really damper them a little bit more.
There you go.
Aston Villa, Leeds, Chelsea, and then Everton. So there's still quite a few hard games there.
Yeah.
Uh, and like the rumors are, if the players aren't happy, and they're sort of wanting this because they just want to get out of their contracts, they're gonna throw it. It's tanking for the EPL.
Yeah. No, it definitely is. And a big part of that, talk about tanking. Arsenal, right, does a fantastic job of
Oh my
choking
gosh.
late in the year.
They are the biggest choke. Oh my God. Has Rob talked to you about them, like what they're
That
doing
would
right
have
now?
been the second video he sent me last night of EPL news. And he's hinted at this for quite a while. There's been in the months past, when I started kind of getting into the EPL and
Hmm.
Wolverhampton football, he kind of told me, we were talking about Arsenal, we were talking about, Man City, some of the powerhouses there, and he told me that Arsenal is just they are incredible choke artists. He's like, oh yeah, they're at the top, but just wait, just wait.
Yeah.
They're gonna
Yeah.
they're gonna choke, they're gonna lose. I think you've hinted at it as well, John, a couple
Yeah.
of times, several times,
Yeah.
and here we are. Like they can be handed a basket and they'll find a way to drop it. Like
Yeah.
it's just Like, and they got set up. We were talking about a match not long ago against Chelsea, right? Where
Yeah.
it seemed like they were pretty favored,
Hmm.
by the refs during that match, and it still doesn't work. Like, no matter
Yeah.
how much pampering they get, they still can't
Hmm.
finish.
Yeah. Yeah. Big loss for them to Bournemouth this past weekend, 2-1. And,
Mm,
but for me, like I said, Chelsea fan, we got spanked by Man City, but I'm not surprised because Man City saw the loss for Arsenal and they know they have to win now. Man City knows they win out, they win this league because they play this week, the 19th on Sunday. Big game,
mm.
big game. Arsenal wins, I think they'll win the league. They lose this to Man City, man, they are in trouble. Mikel, the coach, man, I think if they lose, this guy's gonna get sacked. I don't think he's gonna stay the coach for Arsenal because this is 2 years in a row.
Brutal. Yeah, no, I think at that point, I think you gotta kind of toss them to the curb, right? I
Hmm.
think that it's gonna be bad. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I mean, if you're not all of the everything's there for them to
yeah.
complete this. And like they've been up a ton this entire season. Like I don't think they've let go first place in the EPL standings in
Mm-mm.
much of the season, if any of it. It's just crazy the choking that they
Yeah,
continuously do.
yeah.
Yeah, but hey, you know what? This kind of stuff is why I've kind of just grown a big fascination for myself with, just English Premier League soccer.
Yeah.
It's there's a lot of drama, there's a lot of,
Hmm.
just storylines to go into it. And, from Tottenham to, what's going on with Arsenal, to Wrexham kind of making their way through, lower leagues and how far they've
Hmm.
come. And now I'm about to join Wolverhampton and kind of taking a dousing backwards and coming back up, hopefully. Yeah, it's crazy. God. Yeah, Mikel Arteta, you're not feeling too good today.
No, he's not. Like I said, there's a loss. I follow one creator, content person. He's been around Arsenal for big Arsenal fan, big supporter. Was on Barstool for a bit. I don't know if you saw him. Troops. That guy
Don't think so.
when he does his live streams, this guy's like I say, when you bleed a team, this guy
Hmm.
bleeds Arsenal. And how excited he gets when they win, but also how angry he gets and his honest takes of the team. Like I say, it's what we do, there's people that don't talk bad about their teams. They're scared to because, oh, we're not going to get invited. But like I said, we do it with our teams. When they do bad, we're going to talk smack about them because it's the honest truth. And that's what he
Yeah.
does. And he pretty much shared, I think, in his video this past weekend that it if they lose this coming weekend against Man City, coach has to get sacked. You just got to move on. It's been so many years that he has had this amazing club that could win it all, do so much, but they never perform and they don't get what that coach isn't getting what he needs out of these players. You got to move on.
Yeah. Yeah, it's probably time to cut ties at that point. Do you know how long he's been with the club?
I want to say it's at least a good 4 to 5 years by now.
Hmm. To be on top and then
Hmm.
lose like that? Dear Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
So since 2019, so he's going on 7 years.
wow.
Yeah.
Nothing to back it up, huh?
No, I think just an FA Cup, one trophy.
Wow.
Yeah.
All-time regular season guy.
Yeah. Yeah, he is.
Wow. Yeah. No, it's not a good look. And I just from my short like little, input
Hmm.
on EPL stuff is fans won't take lightly to consistently choking, like,
No.
or just being bad consecutively. Like, yeah, I can't
Mhm.
imagine what chance they got going for him over there with Arsenal and in the choking that's going on.
Yeah.
I'm curious. I'm going to look that up after the show.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm telling you, if they lose the championship this year, he needs to move out of that part of the city, part of the town, go somewhere else, resign yourself. Don't even let them fire you. Just be like, I'm out. Peace. I'm going to Spain, going to Italy to coach. Because the English premier fans, they are not forgiving. Like I say, you got to be careful with them.
Yeah, for sure. If it helps any, he expects all of his players to be fit and ready to go and energetic for this upcoming match. Yeah, I mean, I'd hope so. I
Yeah,
hope his brain is pretty fit for this week.
yeah,
Making some good calls out there.
yeah, yeah. We'll see how he does, but yeah, that's a bit of the Wolfpack check-in. Like I said, the Wolves looks like they're gonna get regulated, but I think it's a team that could make it back within a year. Um,
Yeah,
and yeah, we'll just see how the rest of this EPL season goes, and then I think we'll start talking World Cup during the Wolfpack check-in.
absolutely. Yeah, we'll convert it over to World Cup stuff. Really excited for that to start off. Of course,
Hmm.
I know we talked a lot about it last week.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no Wolves. I guess my bigger question is how am I going to watch the Wolves next season? So, going to do a lot of research on that. Website very intuitive, very interactive. Maybe I can find some audio versions of it
Yeah.
if the video is not available. Pay an extra subscription fee of getting particularly Wolverhampton cable. Bet.UK. See if it works.
You'll find a way. I think if you get like Fox Sports or what is
Hmm.
it? Sky Sports. I think that's what it is in
Sky. Yeah,
Sky. I think you could find a way to maybe watch it.
makes sense. Makes sense. Be a subscriber. That's
Yeah.
what I'm gonna do.
But yeah, that's the Wolfpack check-in, and we'll go into our banter takes. So our banter takes are our hottest takes of the week. For these takes, we don't prep each other, we don't compare notes, and we definitely don't pull any of the punches. We're gonna share what we feel reading these takes off, just fresh off of our mind. So it's always real-time reaction. So I will get started. And Mike Malone is the greatest player development coach in the history of basketball. This statement was declared by the UNC graphics guy and Mike Malone himself. Yeah,
Wow.
I think he might be because what he did with Denver, and now going to UNC, he could be one of these coaches that makes some history because I did see with March Madness over, there's always a lot of basketball talk, seeing a lot of the stats. Um, but the one thing I saw there hasn't been a coach that has won both the NBA and the NCAA championship other than Larry Brown. I think he's the only coach that's
Hmm.
won it both. And like I say, what Mike Malone did with Denver being able to win it, you got a guy like Joker, you should be able to win it, but still, you have to coach that team and get them there. And him being able to do that fresh and now going you know, to college, it's gonna be history. I think there's a lot of coaches that could do it. A lot of coaches should be doing it that aren't doing well in the NBA anymore. Doc Rivers should be a coach that just goes into college. I don't know if you saw the news. He's stepping down from the Bucks. Um,
Makes
give,
sense.
give college a try. You haven't done it in the NBA since your Celtics little run. Um, Time to go down. Bill Belichick did it. Just don't do the Bill Belichick thing. Don't find a very young girlfriend that so is in
Mm.
competitive cheerleading after college. But yeah,
Yep.
you know the UNC graphics guy and Mike Malone, they think they're the greatest, and I think yeah, he will be a great player development because he knows what it takes to win in the NBA in pro sports.
Absolutely. Yeah, no props to them. It's a big talk. Quick little snippet about Doc Rivers. He
Mhm.
is being called Cock Rivers by much of Bucks Nation this past week. His son has stepped in and said, if I hear that one more time, I swear. It was pretty funny. Um, Enjoyed that parody coming through, but yeah, the Bucks were absolutely awful since he
Hmm.
took over. Not surprised by the following, especially when you play Giannis's brother 27 minutes in the final
Hmm.
game of the regular season,
Yeah.
and I don't know how he's on a team. Entertaining though, I will say
Yeah.
that, very entertaining. But as far as Mike Malone goes, this graphic was kind of crazy. Saw it this morning. It was quite the announcement. I think he is the master of if you did it once, you are an absolute savant at what you do. He has, I believe it's Antoine Jameson, LeBron James, Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Nikola Jokic, Klay Thompson, Jamal Murray, Chris Paul, Harrison Barnes, amongst others, on this saying he basically developed all of them.
Hey.
I think he was with the Warriors for a whopping 2 seasons. LeBron James, I think he was there in Cleveland for a couple years, 3 years as a assistant coach.
Hmm.
Um, hey, he was around them.
Yeah.
It's I mean, it's kind of smart. This is kind of what you do on like a resume. It's like, dude, somebody tell
Yeah.
Mike Malone he's already got the job.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. I guess this is good for recruiting, but
Well, yeah.
newsflash, Mike, you just have to have the money now. You
Yeah.
don't really have to do much recruiting. Just wave a few bands in their faces, and you get a few players. But yeah, I thought it was absolutely fascinating. I'm like, man, so you helped Steph Curry with his three ball, Klay Thompson with that three, Nikola Jokic with, just the way that his pace of play, phenomenal,
Yeah.
phenomenal. But hey, you know what? He was part of it. He was part of
Hmm.
it. So, honestly, I'm pretty close to this. Like, should we start sending resumes into Mike Malone? Because it seems like he could fluff it up quite good. UNC graphics guy did a great job. Getting everybody's photo in there. Hell of a graphic. Hell of a
Yeah.
graphic.
No,
Um,
it's a good one.
it's a good one. It's a good one.
Yeah.
But I do think that this is a really good hire. And I did clip, a small little snippet of what we talked about last week with NBA Talk, John, and about that Warrior stuff, and how it might be Steve Kerr's time to call it quits and kind of move on. And what the hell
Hmm.
is he doing with pods and blah blah blah. We had a commenter come on and say, because we threw Dan Hurley's name out there.
Yeah.
We kind of thought
Hmm.
about him for the Lakers job before, thought it made a whole lot of sense.
Hmm.
He's a great coach. Obviously, it was a very entertaining NCAA finals game. I would have loved to see his competitive spirit on the Warriors. I,
Yeah.
I think he would bring a whole lot to them. And the commenter said Mike Malone would be a leading candidate, and I no quorums about that whatsoever.
Yeah.
He would have been a phenomenal hot replacement for Steve Kerr if we ever kind of went that direction. But
Hmm.
clearly, sights were set a different way,
Yeah.
so count Mike Malone out. But I think he will do very good with
Yeah.
UNC. I think that he could be honestly a really good
Hmm.
coach built for college basketball.
Yeah, I think he could be because he has the pro experience, so he knows what those pros need, you know. I think the graphic is recruiting more because it shows that you touch all these players and, other than a few Cousins, Jameson, uh, Danny Green, they were on championship teams, but that's all behind LeBron. But you develop players in, UNC hasn't been doing so well with college. You don't hear the UNC credibility the way it used to be, where UNC was always a top
Mhm.
team. They're pretty down below, UConn, all these other teams are going above them. And, they're not at the level, the Duke UNC games, I don't think they have the same pizzazz that it used to have. So bringing someone
Mhm.
like Mike Malone, who I think will do great with recruiting, UNC is probably going to get a lot more money in NIL, opportunities and be able to bring some of these big names. And, especially I think for like big guys, centers that, hey, I coached the Joker and look at him now. I could teach you what I taught him and the skills he has, so you could be the most one of the most successful centers in the NBA to have like all the tools. He's gonna do great. So I think it's a great move. I also think Mike Malone would have done great with Golden State, you know, help
Mhm.
Curry these last 2 years, maybe do something with the team and find the right players, recruit some of these players that he was always having, getting Jamal Murray on Golden State would be nice, you know,
Yeah, would have been great.
So, but yeah, why he took this position. I read somewhere he took it because his daughter sort of mentioned it to him and told him to take it, and he
Oh,
agreed to it.
wow.
Yeah,
Some family influence. Did she
yeah,
go to UNC?
yeah. I think I don't know. She,
Currently there, maybe?
yeah, I think she's currently there. I think she's an athlete.
Oh.
Volleyball. Yeah,
Dad, they're picking on us.
yeah,
Our basketball team sucks.
yeah. That's exactly probably what it was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. In Belichick being there, what would he go 4-8 this past
Fournier.
season?
Mm-hmm.
Lousy,
Yeah.
lousy. My who's king of the hill there? Is it Mike Malone now? You can't go much lower.
Uh,
Are you giving it
It,
Bill?
I think it's basketball. I think UNC was always more of a basketball school than a football school. So I
Mm,
think he already automatically gets that higher pedestal.
got it.
Um, but he needs to do well. And it depends on how Belichick does in the future. But I don't think Belichick will do much with UNC.
Got it. Yeah. I wonder if Bill tries to be like, hey, cheer team. Jordan can be really good influence for basketball cheer team. And try to get her a good gig there at UNC. Because honestly, if you're Bill Belichick, you got to get her to step aside as your kind of publicist. Um, those interesting interviews going on gets you in the headlines for sure.
Yeah.
But I think if you step aside, let her do her cheerleading stuff, I don't know. You just got to look for ways to kind of turn it around. Team
Yeah.
effort here. When it comes to UNC's athletics. Damn, it's come a long way.
Yeah.
This is it's
Get
such a random college now.
yeah.
Yeah, no, so let me elaborate a bit more about where UNC could possibly head. I think that UNC over this past season honestly was seen as a big underperformer. I don't think it's a big surprise. That they cut ties with their previous head coach and that they're looking for anything to move on. We already kind of prefaced Mike Malone's probably the best fit for this. And as it seems so far, he's kind of getting a lot of commits already. UNC lands Virginia Tech transfer Nicholas Advidalis. Might have butchered the name, but it's okay. We'll move on. Honestly, he's going to work pretty quickly here. And I mean, he's barely signed this past weekend. Epidolus, 6'9" native of Greece, averaged 12.1 points, 3.1 rebounds, 4.6 assists as a freshman. John, filling you in here real quick. Um, Mike Malone going to quick work.
Yeah.
Already got a Virginia Tech transfer. Now, kind of butchered the name. I'll try it again. Nicholas Abdalis, Abdalis, is the V silent, you think?
It could be.
Avdalas. Greece,
Nico Nico is
Ad,
Greek.
Abdalis, Abdalis,
Abdalas,
Abdalis. I like that. There it is,
Abdalas.
Abdalis. Very nice. It's a baller name. It's really good.
Yeah,
Big fan.
yeah. No, yeah. He's making work. I was listening. I still had my headphones on when I went to go do what I needed to
Oh,
do. So
perfect. So you
yeah,
heard the first butcher. Very nice.
yeah, yeah. So, but no, like I say, I think they'll start doing a lot. The NCAA basketball tournament, March Madness is over. We'll start seeing a lot of these players go into the transfer portal because it's what I noticed last year. It's like after the tournament, a lot of these big names from smaller schools went into transfer portal and went to the
Mhm.
big schools, get some of that recognition. One was a Cal prospect, Stojakovic,
Oh
Andre,
yeah.
from
Hmm.
Cal, and then went to Illinois and made it to the Final Four.
Yep.
And was a big part of that, because he was a top player. So you're gonna see a lot of opportunities. Like I said, I think there's gonna be a lot of openings for UNC, and hopefully they can make that run back to being a top tier program in college basketball, because it's always good when they are. Having that UNC, they still have the Jordan logos, right? They're the only
I
team with the Jordan.
believe so. Yes. I think
Yeah,
that they've retained that. Um,
yeah,
I don't think Jordan's all that involved. Big time
yeah,
NASCAR guy now.
yeah. Big time. But still, like I say, having the Jordan logo, Jordan jerseys, getting the player exclusive Jordan shoes, big selling point you know for coaches to recruit to UNC. So I think he's gonna have a lot of success. But like I said,
Yeah.
we'll see. Things go crazy. We'll see where UConn's coach, what he does if he decides to make a move after whatever firings happen in the NBA after the playoffs. Um, yeah,
Yeah, I mean, honestly, yeah, a lot to see there. Lots of possibilities, a lot of parity. I know that the firings obviously have already started, starting with Doc Rivers. So, yeah,
hmm
there's a lot to be seen. We'll see where we go. Quick question regarding
hmm
that, though. You think Ty Lue's on the way out, or you think he's
Um,
having too much success?
I would have said yes earlier in the season, but I think the success they're having, he might have bought himself at least another year with the Clippers.
Hmm.
But I'm on the edge because I'm like, what? You guys didn't do anything during, before free or before the trade deadline. Got rid of a lot of players. Like I say, the pick we got from Indiana, the pickups we got are solid, not stars, but they're great. But,
Hmm.
the first round pick that we got from Indiana, protected for Indiana 1 through 4, they're looking like they're going to be the number 1 or 2 pick with their record, if the lottery balls go their way. And then we have to wait like another year or two to get a number 1 pick. And this year's draft class, I think, is a pretty solid one. So I would have wished we could have done that, had got it this year, and had something to give Kawhi, because I think Kawhi is also on his way out, just age wise. So he bought himself a year, but uh, I'm okay
Yeah.
if we move on.
The 1 year Kawhi decides to play.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
hmm
Yep. Could have had is
Harden.
Dembélé
Yeah. Yeah. And like I
if he
say,
goes if he goes pro.
yeah. Yeah. And like I say, we could have kept Harden if Kawhi is playing this way.
Hmm.
Zubac, he was a great center. Paul George, but I know he's getting suspended. I think uh, PEDs.
Yeah. Yeah, big time
This,
PE guy, PED
yeah,
guy. Yep.
yeah. So
Unreal.
like I say, we've had a lot of opportunities. We'll talk a little bit more basketball a little later.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm okay if he goes, but I think he might have saved himself another year.
Gotcha. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
makes sense. Makes sense.
yeah,
Um, yeah. I guess all in all, folks, we elaborate a lot. Mike Malone, generational player development
yep.
guy.
He is.
Yep.
Per that graphic. Per that
For
graphic.
that. Yep. UNC graphic guy making
Uh,
headlines along with
uh,
Mike Malone. Yeah. Teamed up on a Sunday night.
uh,
Yep.
yeah, no, it's funny.
My tick here. At some point, we've got to stop separating Tiger Woods, the legend, from Tiger Woods, the person, because the same patterns keep showing up. Greatness doesn't excuse recklessness, and the conversation shouldn't keep resetting every time. Yes, we've seen, gosh, so many different
Yeah.
storylines when it comes to Tiger Woods off the course that it is outrageous. We started with, of course, Tiger Woods being the young phenom he was, and
Hmm.
up and comer, he's absolutely phenomenal right off the bat. All the major championships he's won, how great he's been for so many darn years. That all led up to, a major Nike contract,
Hmm.
became pretty much a billionaire and revolutionized the sport of golf, much like, his predecessors have as well.
Hmm.
Um, but, just all-time great. And then, off the course, it's just kind of highlighted by just a bunch of craziness.
Yeah.
We start with the divorce, and all of that charade, and him crashing a car there. Seemed to have lost his mojo was the joke, after that.
Hmm.
Couldn't kind of keep at the top of the scorecards. Really had trouble kind of getting back into his groove, that leading into winning a Masters out of
Hmm.
nowhere.
Yeah.
And, I think that the up and coming news and great play surrounding Charlie Woods is a lot to look forward to. I
Hmm.
think he seems to be a phenomenal golfer, if he's anything like his dad, which he seems to be. Um, you know, Hopefully he kind of adapts and has that work ethic to kind
Yeah.
of be a great predecessor to his father. Because, Tiger Woods on the course was absolutely phenomenal to watch. And then, yeah, it just seems like he just keeps running into these things, and it just, at this point, I think he just needs a full-time driver. I think
Hmm.
we can all agree.
Yeah.
Um, it's just somehow, that just kind of overrides a lot of, what
Yeah.
he's done, which is a bummer because, obvious, is there a golfing Hall of Fame? I haven't even really looked into that.
I think it's just whoever wins the gold jackets, that's pretty much who goes into like a Hall of Fame. I think they
Okay.
get like a little like you saw Happy Gilmore too, where he got like the little bust of his head. I think
Oh yeah.
that's what they do, probably for those Hall of Famers.
Hmm.
So
Maybe you
it's
get
my guess.
like a, some type of juice named after you.
Yeah,
Arnold Palmer's.
Arnold Palmer.
Great mix. Great
Yeah.
mix. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It just a lot of the stuff that history just repeating itself off the course
Hmm.
has just been it just overrides a lot of things. Like my FYP. Now this is probably my fault. Honestly, I'll take credit. This is my fault. I'll take full responsibility of where my FYP brings me. But I just get these montages of AI because AI we talk about a lot. Big fan of
Hmm.
AI.
Yeah.
Want to be on the right side of history in the future here. But yeah, I just get a lot of like Tiger Woods arriving to the golf course and it's a tumbling car
Yeah.
as it gets on. Now, we wouldn't be joking like this if, you know, death was involved. But,
Yeah.
luckily, we can rule that out and,
Hmm.
he's had injuries, but he's overcome it.
Hmm.
But my FYP is filled with stuff like that. And then it's hilarious to watch because AI has come a long way,
Yeah.
and I think that's a big part of it. But it's like, we're not really, we always see like those, dramatic Tiger
Hmm.
Woods putts or, the setup shots or, commercials that he's been involved with and everything, all the cool stuff he's ever done. Just that at the moment. And it's just like such a wrinkle,
Yeah.
in time. If you translate it to like other sports, you think about like Barry Bonds.
Yeah.
You can look at all of his, I could watch his montages of home runs all day,
Hmm.
every day. It's
Yeah.
absolutely fascinating to me. I could look at his stats for hours on end and just all the quirky things he has. But one big thing is his attitude in the locker room and then coinciding with that PED scandal. So
Hmm.
yeah, stuff like that just takes over. It's kind of crazy when it happens.
Yeah, it's crazy. And like I say, I'll say we're probably talking about it maybe a week too late just because we weren't on it last week.
Hmm.
But, you know, we we have we have to start separating like feeling bad, like, oh, putting him on a pedestal for his golf and then sort of not looking like making excuses like, oh, he's gone through a hard life, things like that. It's like, yes, he has, but man, this guy's an adult. He's a professional and he's a multi-millionaire, maybe billionaire. I don't know if he might be up there anymore with all these accidents, but it's like you said, he could have a driver. Why is he driving if he's always having these back pains, if he's having these drinking problems? He's currently, I think, at rehab for what's going on. And I
Mhm.
saw a lot of people not talking about it because they're trying to protect Tiger Woods because of what he's done for the sport of golf. And I think of that high class of type of sport golf is where it's very traditional and doing what Tiger Woods has done the last, decade of incidents isn't traditional in the golfing world. So they're trying to not talk about it and focus on the goods. Has to stop. Like I say, what he's done, thank God nobody got hurt, but if he did, accidentally kill someone, he should be going to jail. He should be suffering the same consequences any other normal human being would, and it shouldn't matter of his prestige. With this conversation, Tiger Woods may never want to golf with us, never want to talk to us because we're talking about him, but it's what we have to talk about because it is a thing. Golf is a very elite club, and to be a part of it and to play golf, I've started swinging. I suck at it. I still suck at it just like I suck at many sports, but I've enjoyed it and I can understand why many people do it, and also the eliteness that if you're in the PGA, you're the best of the best and you're getting paid amazing money to play such a fun sport that also isn't so consuming like basketball, football, and make millions. And Tiger Woods have made millions, so it's like, hold up those standards, and if you can't, like, suffer the consequences. It is a big thing for me.
Yeah. Yeah. If Joe Baloney off the side of the street decides to hit the back end of a trailer and flip his
Yeah,
car and then get ruled being under the influence,
yeah,
could still be in jail.
yeah.
It's just, the pedestal that he has. And then,
Mhm,
a lot of I don't know how much you've seen of it, John. I think we might have shared, a few videos about it where, you have the cop's camera of the
mhm.
situation with Tiger and Tiger's walking away from the scene for a bit to
Yeah,
talk evidently with the president and
yeah, I saw
then
that.
coming back. And it's like, dude, are you trying to flex or
It's,
like, was that just a random phone
uh,
call?
a
And
big,
like,
big
oh,
name drop right there. Big name drop.
yeah,
Let's talk about the president.
yeah, it's like, yeah, did he call you or you call him to try to, weasel
Uh,
your way out of it? So it's just, yeah. And then seeing him in the back of the car, it's like he's like kind of drifting in and out of,
mhm,
consciousness, it seems like. And it seemed, it's just not a good look.
yeah.
And yeah, honestly, he's very lucky that this is all that's occurred. But,
Hmm.
quite frankly, if you think about it, like how much of that guy's day did he ruin by running into the back of that guy's trailer?
Hmm.
It seemed like a guy that was going to go work at somebody's house over there
Hmm.
and, had stuff in that trailer. It's like, did he
Yeah.
damage any of the equipment? Did he ruin a project that he had scheduled for
Hmm.
that day? Is it going to delay something for the homeowner?
Hmm.
A whole lot of things can kind of go into that. And here we are just talking about, Tiger. It's
Yeah.
like, dude, we're all humans, and you're the
Uh,
one that decided to, you know, drive like that. So,
yeah.
and I guess he was looking for his car. I don't know Florida driving laws, but most states can't really do that stuff. So
No, you get in
it's
trouble
been like that for a
for
while.
looking down at your phone.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. No, it's crazy. So
uh,
Um, yeah, and again, it's just put a big damper. I feel like, in the golfing world, it's a sport that's looking for a lot of positives.
mm-hmm.
It's had, it needs to kind of stay up there. There's a lot of time frame where people weren't all that interested until like the Masters comes around. But
Hmm.
I feel like it's kind of upticked a bit. Hopefully it stays that way.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, Tiger, gotta
Yeah,
get together, man.
Yeah, he has to get it together. I saw a video, a YouTube of with someone. This was a few months ago. And like I say, this guy at golf, amazing. Because even after everything he's gone through, so many years, guy still has one of the nicest swings. Could do so much on the golf course. With
Mhm.
his irons and stuff. And like I say, seeing this, it's just not great role modeling because, like I say, there's a lot of us older adults that have children wanting to get kids into golf. And, you always look up Tiger Wood clips, because he's one of the best to swing, everything he's done, his putts, how excited he gets. But then, like I say, the way social media is, these kids are gonna look up Tiger Woods, and they're gonna get all the videos that we've been sending to each other, Tim, of him driving, all the AI videos, and they're gonna be
Yeah.
like, "This is who my dad's talking about and looks up to. I should be drinking, rolling my car over at the golf course." It's like,
Yeah.
no, So, like I said, the way social media is now, it just needs to be out there. People need to be honest, not try to protect someone, and just like I say, you got to live with your consequences as an adult.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the backlash is totally there. I think it's, quite
Yeah,
frankly, like much deserved.
yeah,
Um, yeah, he hasn't really established himself as a good human being off the
yeah,
course at this point.
hmm
So, that's kind of up to him and what he wants to do to try to
yeah,
curtail that. Maybe he doesn't give two issues about
yeah,
something like that. But, I think at this point, as far as Tiger Woods goes, we can all enjoy like what he's done on the course.
yeah,
Um, but honestly, at least for me, I'm not even that excited if he tries to do like some type of comeback because it's like, dude, we've
nah,
seen this story
yeah,
unravel several times. I think we're
yeah,
good. Rather just like move forward and watch your son play. He
yeah,
seems,
yeah.
I think he declared or he committed to University of Florida, if I'm not
Okay,
mistaken.
okay, yeah,
So collegiate career, kind of bring that into PGA stuff, good for
yeah,
him. I think he's well on his way and, seems like a good kid, great
yeah.
player. I think I watched him hit a hole in one the other month. So,
No, nice.
um, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
No, yeah, but yeah, and a little bit with golf. Like I say, we're talking about it. We'll just go into a bit of it.
yeah.
Masters this past weekend. Augusta National. Rory McIlroy, back-to-back winner. I think he's the
Mhm.
third or fourth back-to-back winner. So kudos to him. Guy that's always in the news with golf, but man, great golfer. You gotta tip your hat to him.
He is, yeah. And I can't imagine the sigh of relief for Rory
Yeah.
because, before last year's win,
Mm.
dude was known as like can't quite finish the big one,
Yeah.
and can't quite get there, always up
Uh,
there.
uh,
Great career earnings, great player.
uh,
Can't finish it. Back-to-back years, silence the haters.
mhm.
Phenomenal. He's been,
Uh,
one of, the leaders of the PGA through this whole live
hmm
golf thing.
Yeah.
And, he stuck to his wits, kind of backed the PGA and what it's all about, and not wanting to join the Saudis. So yeah, it's a great success story. I think Rory seems like a good guy. Just don't put a cell phone in his face. He
Yeah.
won't like that during a practice round. Don't even think about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, super cool. That he's able to do that in silence haters. Big sigh of relief
Mhm.
for him. Scheffler's up there too,
Yeah.
staying competitive. Good for
Yeah.
him.
Yeah. No, yeah. It was a pretty good weekend in golf. And I think some of the big news I saw, because I'll be honest, I didn't watch as much golf this weekend. I was staying on Couchella, watching Coachella live streams on YouTube, which we'll talk
Likewise.
about talk about later. But the one thing that I've always noticed with the Masters and what I've read with, Masters, Augusta National, is that they really want to keep it very traditional, but there's a lot of people complaining that they're bringing influencers in. I think it was
Mm,
Jason Kelsey was there, Kevin Hart, bringing these names to promote and bring viewers when it's supposed to be traditional. I think at the
mm,
Augusta National, for the Masters, there's no cell phones at all. You can't have your cell phone out. And I think I saw a picture, where they were when they were playing. Nobody had a cell phone out compared to like other pro sports where everybody has their cell phone recording these moments. And I think it's
Hmm.
crazy because when I read that, I thought about it. I was like, well, so what you guys are doing is sort of what Liv was trying to do: bring more attention, bring more of that spectacle to the sport. And you guys
Hmm.
were bashing on Liv, but with this one tournament, which this is the biggest tournament like that. If it was the Waste Management Open, I wouldn't even be saying this because Waste Management's just a party. You
Yeah,
know,
great
so
vibes.
but this is the Masters. This is like the top tier of the golfing tournament. So bringing that sort of contradicts what they've said about Live. But like I say, I to each their own.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. It's one of those things. Talk crap when you're not doing it, and then
Yeah,
it's really fine when you do it.
yeah.
Yeah, but I will say I didn't mind it because I too kind of want to try to get out there, pick up golf again. Zillion times been tried to talk into it. I drive by numerous golf courses coming back here to SoCal,
Yeah,
and I'm like, man, just even the driving range. I'm like, man, it would be so
yeah.
much fun just to get out there and start hitting a bucket of balls.
Hmm.
Um, but to watch Kevin Hart plunk one directly into the water in front of a huge crowd, just big sigh of relief. It's
Oh
like
yeah,
he's one of us, one
yeah.
of us.
One
And
of
it's
us.
just great. Yeah. Yeah, great feels. So overall, I didn't really mind it, and I think it's kind of good for the
Yeah.
Masters. I do respect the course itself, the
Hmm.
tradition. I respect the cheap menu that they
Hmm.
have with the food.
Yeah.
Big food podcast here, guys.
Yes.
Um, I just can't beat it. If this podcast ever gets invited to it, we just first things food reviews.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just phenomenal. But yeah, I kind of respect it in a sense. But on the other hand, it's like, dude, can't really knock the live if you're just going to kind of repeat and try to do the
Hmm.
same thing. And if I'm not mistaken, did they changed announcers, right? We no longer have Nance
I
on.
think I think so. I'm not too sure.
I think,
Let's see.
yeah, I think last year was the last year of Hello Friends, but
Yeah.
fact check. Because if
Um, let's see. It shows Jim Nance. This is
oh,
Wikipedia though, so can never really trust it fully.
got effort on that. For some reason, I thought last year was the last year of Jim Nance doing Hello Friends. Um, Yeah, if I'm incorrect, shame on me. But I feel like that would be a kind of a big preface as far as like, why they might try
Mhm.
something new.
Yeah.
Because he's just such a relevant voice when it comes to the Masters, and in just all of his historic calls,
Yeah.
his kind of like I mean, it is poetic.
Yeah.
His build up to, what Masters Weekend is all about, and just saying
Hmm.
hello, friends. If I hear that, I instantly think of Jim Nance.
Yeah.
Um, but if I hear Jim Nance and Tony Romo, I might blow my brains out. On the golf course,
uh,
perfectly fine. That duo, when it comes to Chiefs Kingdom, man,
oh,
brutal. Um, yeah, you know what? Maybe just the Kelsey brothers are the replacements for Jim Nance. They have the background of Kansas City Chiefs football. Kind of makes sense.
yeah.
But I gotta look that up. I'm pretty sure he's done with the Masters.
Yeah. He could be. I can't really find it. Uh,
Maybe I'm just making this up.
or
Oh,
this
nope.
could be,
Jim Nance
no.
calls
Yeah.
Rory's historic.
Yeah, but could be
Why
his
did I
last
think
year
that was
this
his
year.
last? Yeah, maybe it's this
Yeah.
year. I don't know. Maybe they just keep putting it one year at a time
Yeah.
and get more people to tune in that way.
Yeah.
So
Or
never
the
mind.
or
Skip the
yeah.
last 2 minutes.
Or they realize like, yeah, we get rid of Jim Nance, we're done. So it's like let's pay him double whatever he wants and keep him for a few more years.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nope. I think that's it. Yeah. Or actually, uh, oh, so he just did his 41st Masters. Nance said, Jack Whitaker once told him you need to do 51. So
10 more?
2036. Why did I think Last year was his last year. I swear I heard that somewhere. Maybe there's a lot of speculation.
Yeah,
Maybe you kind of talked about it.
yeah.
I feel like I heard that somewhere, unless I'm
Good.
just living a
Yeah.
different timeline.
It could have been a rumor because, like I say, ending at year 40 would have been,
Mm, yeah.
milestone in itself. So, but if someone told them to go to 51, that's, a legend in golf and broadcasting, he's probably going to try to break that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think hey, at least go for 50.
Yeah.
You have Chris Berman having, milestone years with ESPN, might as well try to do the same thing with
Yeah.
Masters.
Yeah, no, for sure. But yeah, that's a little bit with golf. Here's another take, and I think this is one you might know a little bit about too.
Okay. All right, perfect. Anthony Anderson calling Artemis 2 mission a waste of money is wild. Because let's be real, if Earth even sneezes in the wrong direction, he's going to be first in line with a helmet asking, "Where do I sign?" Yes. Anthony Anderson, the actor, correct?
Yes.
Yes. Um, Calling Artemis 2 a waste of money, I think is outrageous. I have grown to be a gigantic fan over this past weekend, past week, past 10
Yeah.
days, however you want to call it, of the Artemis 2 crew.
hmm
I think that their speeches they had over this past
hmm
weekend after the landing was phenomenal. I was really tuned in to how tough of a landing that was going to be and the perfect direction that they had to
hmm
have. The storylines of each and every one of them, literally, you know, one of the guys naming his wife after a crater, with the recent loss. God,
Yeah.
it's like, dude, how do you not get teary-eyed just listening to some of
Yeah.
their storylines? Like, it's just literally a movie waiting to happen. And then just to know, they're going to the far side of the moon, how
hmm
fascinating that might be. Um, Phenomenal. It's
hmm
it's it's just been a hell of a weekend regarding that. And it's like, yeah, it's just you're kind of putting that to in this that mission altogether, if I'm not mistaken, John, is a predecessor to trying to develop some type of community on the moon, right? In
hmm
just kind of a research mission first, see if the vehicle works for
hmm
landing to start, having routine flights to and from the moon to create
Yeah.
a community, which sounds insane. But
Yeah.
by the time we're 70, I bet you it's going to be a thing.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. And I think that they have like a $20 billion budget for this thing now, which is cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's
Yeah. They have Artemis 3, I think, coming next year.
okay.
Artemis 4, I think I read like early 2028. And then Artemis 5, that's the one that's supposed to land on the moon, end of 2028. So
Badass.
that's the timeline they have. So it's they got the money and it's for a reason.
Yeah. And it's like, don't hate on it if it's going to maybe help us in the future. Like,
hmm
how long is we don't know. Nobody can predict the future. Like how long is Earth going to be habitable?
Yeah.
We have to start kind of thinking towards the future. We're a big aliens podcast, and we got to
Yes.
bring it back. Because honestly, ever since we did that episode, this is a bit of a sidetrack as we always do. I feel like just I don't know if it's just our algorithms of life.
Yeah.
Like I feel like there's just so much more news about it,
hmm
and it's fascinating to where we've come up now, and now we can start looking at building civilizations
Yeah.
on the moon, which is badass. So. Yeah, it's one of those things where, is Yellowstone going to implode? There's a lot of,
hmm
conspiracies about that. Anybody can mention war, anybody, without getting political. It's like a bazillion different things could occur. It could be
hmm
we're seeing random asteroids that we're not
Yeah.
warned about, through the sky recently over Ohio. And it's you know, it can happen in the spur of the moment. So I
Yeah.
think that this is smart stuff to do. I think as a United States taxpayer, I think I'd love my
hmm
dollars being put towards stuff like this. I think it's super cool. Because I think that's where it goes.
Yeah.
I think government money towards NASA and us doing scientific research is freaking sweet.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like, dude, like don't hate on it if it's going to be one of those things that could save your future generations and
Yeah.
create more possibilities.
Yeah, because the way I look at it, it's like this is an insurance plan for the world. You know, what they're trying
Yep.
to do is trying to see if we could sustain life outside of planet Earth, maybe on the moon, maybe building a big old space station where that's our new life or that's our community is. Because like I say, we don't know what's going to happen with the planet. Asteroids are coming, hitting. We never know if there's going to be a big one that comes and gonna hit us. We don't know, that one comet that came, if that was aliens that passed by now in, 100 years are gonna come trying to take over. It's like we need backup plans
Mhm.
for, if not us, our future generation of kids to be prepped and have a viable chance of surviving, and not just being a population that's fully destroyed. So, like I said, this isn't just NASA being like, "All right, we're just going to a moon piece. We're just here to take pictures. What's up?" There's science to all this. There's tech that they're developing, learning satellites, communication, how to do that, and it's not wasting money. I think it's investing in possible future. Because, like I say, if something happens, I'm gonna say, I'd want to be one of the first in lines to say like, "Hey, I'm ready to go." If I knew that was the only way to survive and there it was a viable way. And like I say, Anthony Anderson, I think would say the same thing. He's saying this now, but he's a celebrity. He has the money. He might be like, if it's like, hey, we got to go to space, it's the only way to survive. He's going to be first in line, trying to do whatever he can with his connections to get there, even though he's talking smack about it right now.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I see here that he's talking about, reverting funds and stuff
Mhm.
like that. And, that's where he thinks the money should go. Like, you could argue about that all day, every day.
Yeah.
You could talk about quadrillion dollars within the US government of where
Uh,
you think it should go. But, you know, I think that this kind of stuff is one of the most worthy.
mhm.
Like, I personally want to know what's going on out there. Like, not from only a fascination standpoint, the curiosity of what's beyond. Like,
Mhm.
we're both dads,
Yeah.
they're going to be around longer than us. Like,
Mhm.
I want to make sure that they're set up in a world that
Mhm.
is safe and, spending
Yeah.
money to research the surroundings. I
Yeah.
think that's best. If you're stuck on a stranded island, I'm not going to stay on the beach. Like, I'm going to go. Is there
Explore.
coconuts in that tree over
Hey.
there? Is there,
Uh,
am I going to be attacked by anacondas? Like,
uh,
I'm going to go kind of look around a bit. Like,
yep.
I, dude, like, space ain't cheap. It's going
Nope.
to cost some money,
Mhm.
especially nowadays. Gas prices.
Oh.
Probably off base.
Yeah.
I don't even know if they use gas or rockets. You know, Not a rocket scientist here, but I think it's worth it.
Mhm.
Um, Also, coinciding with this, Anthony Anderson, you're an actor. Just watched War Machine over this past weekend. Told you about it, John.
Yeah.
I thought it was a badass movie. I think it got 6.767 stars out of
Okay.
10
Not bad.
on Rotten Tomatoes. Not
Yeah.
bad for an action film. But it was about extraterrestrial life
Hmm.
coming to Earth and how are we going to combat it? Badass movie, badass plot line. Thought it
Hmm.
was worthy of some type of speculation.
Yeah.
We recently have people, politicians talking about extraterrestrial life. We have the army talking about it. Like, I think all this is worth it.
Hmm.
We talk about UFOs, we talk about sightings, we talk about like what are they visiting
Yeah.
for, ancient civilizations. You can go on and on and on. Like, dude, Anthony Anderson, just like sit down, you can join the pod.
Yeah.
First off, join the pod, take a listen. We'll talk a little bit more about it. We're kind of amateurs to the subject, but actually, no, we'll take a step up from that. We're semi-pro.
Yeah.
Um, uh, you know, uh, with this information. But
Mm.
honestly, I feel like it's very worthy. I think it's fascinating. I think it's
Mhm.
well worth it.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's great news. I think that the only bummer is that we're not going to see more of the astronauts in the news for a little bit, because
Yeah.
they seem like honestly really cool people.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they seem like real cool people. What they did was brave because, like I say, it's to help the science, help the technology get up to date. I will say I respect this one a lot more than that last Amazon shuttle that happened.
Hmm.
That one was more of a ploy. And like I say, if Anthony Anderson wants to talk smack about that one, I'm on your side. Because like I say, other than just going into space, there was no science behind it. There's no technology they're trying other than just sending some celebrities up there to come back, kiss the ground, do that stuff. But what they're doing here with NASA, it's more than just that. And like I say, if Anthony Anderson wants to start looking at where to cut funds, I'm a big advocate of the movies, artists, but man, some of these artists are getting paid so much money for some mediocre films. Start cutting there. Anthony Anderson, you're getting maybe $1 million for episode. Cut it down to 500K. Put that 500K to something more beneficial. But I think if you ask him that, he's gonna say no. So it's like this is the
Mhm.
greed of America of people at times, and it's like this NASA thing for me. It is an investment. It is insurance for us, for possibly not for us currently living within probably the next 100 years, but for our generations of families, our kids, their kids, their kids, 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 and just going down the line, it could be something where we find another, galaxy and another planet that we could live, and we're gonna have to practice. They're gonna have to test out hyperbaric chambers and these sleep chambers where people could sleep, travel for 100 years, and still wake up at the same age. Not age. It's going to be a lot. So, and like I say, even what telescopes do. I don't know. I think I sent it to you, Tim, but did you see the picture of the James Webb Space Telescope and how it captured the birth of a star?
I feel like I saw something on that,
Yeah.
but I don't think I caught the video you shared.
Well, it's just a picture, but the way that picture looks, how we were able to capture the birth of a star, it's beautiful, man. Just seeing that,
Hmm.
I was just like, that is so amazing. Seeing how a
Yeah.
star was born. Like I said, I haven't read into it too much, like how many galaxies away or how far, but I'm just like, man, just what it looks like. I'm like, it's a movie film, you know?
Yeah. No, absolutely. No, my son Theo, he's actually like really into planets. Like
Yeah,
like the stuff he fills me in on, like he'll talk about
yeah,
habitable planets, he'll talk about stars, what's the biggest star,
yeah.
and stuff like that is freaking awesome. And I think that just like how cool it is that all ages of humans like can be fascinated by
Hmm.
one common topic
Yeah,
about the same stuff. Like we all feel like kids about it. We all
yeah.
feel, just how just fascinating it is. It's like it's the world. See, I don't know how you even want to say it. It's like the outer space unknown. Like it's just the unknown in general that we get to kind of observe and stuff that we
Hmm.
haven't seen before. Another cool thing, I'm gonna check that out because I don't feel like I watched it long enough.
Hmm.
To even to it sounds fascinating. Like that
Hmm.
sounds super cool. But another cool thing that I saw was I don't know if you saw this one. I don't shame on me if I didn't share it. It was they were talking with the flight crew once they were kind of like on the far side of the moon talking about confirmed hits from
Oh, okay.
asteroids that went to the
Oh,
moon. So the moon, we all see its massive craters. That's
hmm.
why, the joke about it being made of cheese.
Yeah.
It's I still think it's made of cheese, honestly. But I think when they passed by, they saw like 4 or 5 confirmed hits just
Dang.
in that passing. So it's literally protecting us from a
Hmm.
lot of these maybe near misses,
Yeah.
no matter how big or small the asteroid is, it has a very worthy, job to
Purpose, yeah.
planet Earth and
Hmm.
purpose, not only for, lunar stuff, the tides, things like that, but yeah, fascinating. And, the first
Hmm.
humans, right, to visit the far side of the
Hmm.
moon and lay
Yeah.
their own eyes on it, provided much more photos that we haven't seen before, a different depiction of it, the visuals, like,
Hmm.
man, I can't imagine coming back to Earth having experienced something like that. Like,
Yeah.
it's just outrageous. And then I saw a video of one of the astronauts coming back, arriving into his neighborhood, and somebody in the comments brought up a great point of like, if that guy is a bar basement, like just having a few drinks with him and picking his brain
Oh yeah.
about the stuff he saw would have been so cool.
Yeah. No, yeah. It would be just hanging out with them, bantering with them and talking about their experience. Because, like I said,
Hmm.
something I think there's millions upon millions, not just here in the U.S., but across the entire, world and just, planet Earth that would want to experience that in their lifetime because it's a goal. Like I say, for me, I always say I would want to do it. I would rather do it with NASA than I would with Amazon or even Tesla at the moment. Tesla's getting up there, Elon Musk. I, you know,
Yeah.
I see all his rockets, I think it's his rockets that are getting blasted here, in
Yep.
SoCal. So it's like, okay, I see some accuracy. None of them have blown up, while we're watching it.
Hmm.
But like I say, NASA, it's something, if I could experience in my lifetime, it would be on that bucket list. And if I do it, it'd be amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. Super rad. Yeah. I think that the unknown of it, like just them having gone on this trip, the perfect like somebody described it as, you need three miracles to happen on a return to Earth. That would stress me out so
Oh yeah.
much. Like it's insane. They performed it perfectly though.
Yeah.
And then they learned something new each and every time. Of course, there's been very tragic and sad endings to previous missions, but
Hmm.
they've learned from each and every one of them.
Yeah.
And it's gone a long way.
Yeah.
So um, I think that the money is all worth it. Anthony Anderson, absolutely love you in Malibu's Most Wanted. Phenomenal role in that film. Absolutely love you in C Spot Run. I think it's a very underrated role you had in that film, the breakdancing, and you did
Uh,
the backflip or front flip, landed on your ass and did that fart. Hilarious. Great role in that film as Benny. But yeah, I think that, and I understand where you want to repurpose money, and I get
mhm.
it. I just think that this money is worth it. And I
Yeah.
think it just the bigger picture, it's going to be not only a cool thing, it's going to be a necessary thing. So,
Yeah. Yeah. No, yeah. That's a good take. Those are our takes for this week. As always, agree or disagree, drop your thoughts in the comments. We always want to hear where you guys stand on this week's banter takes. And we'll just continue rolling. We'll go into some NBA talk. NBA season's officially ended, and we're heading into the playoffs. We're gonna start with the um, the play-in tournament. So the play-in tournament's always the bottom four seeds, 8 through 10, or 7 through 10. And for the East, we got Magic versus 76ers, Heat versus Hornets. Um, yeah, we'll start with that play-in tournament. Then we'll go to the West, and then we'll go the rest of the playoffs. But thoughts on 8 versus 7, Magic at 76ers?
um, yeah, super pumped, dude. I can't
Yeah.
wait. Uh, no, I think playoff basketball, it does get a bit more fun. Um, So we have what'd you say? Magic versus Sixers. Um, Magic couldn't beat a bench-worthy Celtics team this past
Hmm.
weekend. Um, yeah, no, I'm gonna lean Philly here. I think Philly has a bit more formidable team. I think that they're a bit more exciting. I think that they
Hmm.
make it past Orlando. Orlando, I kind of had a little bit higher hopes for, but I don't know. Something with that Desmond Bain trade, I just hasn't really played out that
Yeah,
well. Like
yeah, it
I feel like they
hasn't.
have a much better roster on paper, right?
Hmm. It looks good on paper, but I don't think they've executed it as well, you know. And I
Mhm.
think it's also a lot of injury. I think Banchero, Pablo was injured for a lot at the beginning of the season, so you know, coming back from that, um, I forget who else they have, but I don't think they've been panning out to
Franz
the
Wagner.
yeah, Wagner. I don't think last year I think he played really well. This year I don't think he's played at the same level that I've seen from the few games I've noticed.
Hmm.
So who knows? 76ers, I think they're always a scary team if they stay healthy, but that's the big if. How long are they going to stay healthy for during this playoffs?
Yeah, no, absolutely. It doesn't really seem like the Sixers fans are into it.
Yeah.
Tickets as low as $21 to get in.
Yeah.
Ah, I did that. Yeah, and I mean, I get it. Is PG back? Is the suspension over?
I don't know.
I think
Let's
it
see.
has. I think it has. I think he was supposed to be back in time for the playoffs,
Hmm.
if I'm not mistaken. It was like a 25 game suspension,
Yeah,
50 game.
25. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So I think he's back. Fresh legs.
Hmm.
Hopefully, we'll see. Um, Embiid, I don't know, he's probably questionable.
Yeah.
Maxey, Edgecombe, would have been a bit more fun having, um, what's his face that went to OKC? Can never remember his name.
Jared McCain.
Jared McCain. Even though it seems like he's a great fit for OKC.
Yeah.
Go figure. Makes sense though. Great player. Yeah, gonna go Philly there over Orlando. Makes sense. Orlando, yeah, don't really trust. These are one and done, correct? Or they
Uh,
best of three?
so the eight and seven, whoever wins moves on, but whoever loses plays the winner of 10 versus 9. So
Hmm.
if 76ers win, Magic could still get in with one more game. Heat versus Hornets, whoever wins that game has to play the loser of the 8 versus 7.
Got it. Do you
Yeah.
like this?
No, I don't. I don't.
Yeah. You
It,
explaining that, I was like, this sucks.
yeah. Like I say, it's more basketball. It gives more opportunities, but I still just think it's a waste of time because the Heat Hornet, they have to play whoever wins has to win 2 games just to make it into the playoffs. So you're already going to be on heavy legs where all
Yeah.
these other teams are going to be fresh and you're not going to get home court advantage. So it's like it doesn't really help like the entire break you took before that.
Yeah.
So not the biggest fan, but we'll see if it continues. We'll see how it goes. Heat versus Hornets. Both teams are just not on my radar. I think I'd want to see the Hornets pass through. Just seeing ball, you know, being in the playoffs, I think would be great entertainment TV. And then Heat, like I say,
Yeah.
Heat are okay.
Yeah, I agree. They're just okay. Like just meh. Bam's
Yeah,
game. I feel like the summary of their season is just Bam's 83-point game.
yeah,
Um, I am a big Jaime Jaquez fan though.
yeah,
I respect his game, local kid.
yep,
Sister just got drafted tonight. Shout out Jaquez
yeah,
family. Phenomenal. But yeah, Miami just good coach, but I don't know. Yeah. Tyler Hero hasn't really amounted in
yeah.
my eyes to what he
No,
should be.
yeah.
And I'm much more fascinated by Charlotte, much of the same reasons you're talking about with LaMelo Ball. Big fan of Con Knipple.
Mm-hmm.
Their 3-point contest towards the end of the season got really close.
Yeah.
Con Knipple beating out LaMelo by 1 3-pointer. And
Mm-hmm.
the last duo to have over 270 made 3-pointers was Clay and Steph. And they
Mm-hmm.
did it, I believe, 2 consecutive seasons. So crazy in
Mm-hmm.
some really good territory. I think Con Knipple, I'm kind of fearing for Steph's records here. He's off to
Yeah,
a hell of a freaking
yeah,
start.
he is.
Phenomenal player. And see what his brothers can do too. I mean, there's
Yeah,
more to the family.
yeah. No, yeah. What he's done already, he surpassed Steph by a lot his rookie season, right? I think it's like quite a few.
I believe he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think he surpassed. Well, he set a rookie season record. Yeah,
Mhm. Yeah. So he's
yeah.
doing great
Phenomenal.
things. I think if Steph would have been doing what he's doing now since the beginning of the season and he got the opportunities, he probably would be a lot higher in that leaderboard. But I know his first few seasons, injury coming out of, the ankle concerns, from Davidson, coaching wise also didn't probably have the freedom as a rookie on those teams because wasn't it with Baron Davis? Was Baron Davis was there right when he was a rookie or J
The We
Rich?
Believe team. I believe that was just before Steph. I
That was
think
just
when
one.
Steph came around, Jay Rich might have gone to the Suns.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think they were part of that run. I think that was just B Davis
Yeah.
and Jay Rich.
J Rich. Okay. Yeah. So, but like I said, I think once Kerr came in, gave him a little bit of freedom, that's where he started shooting and became the elite three-pointer machine
Yeah.
he is. So, but yeah. I think Hornets win that one, and then Hornets versus Magic. I think Hornets beat the Magic. I don't think Magic have that great of a team. And like I said, I would prefer to see the Hornets in the playoffs for multiple games.
Yeah, absolutely. Much more entertaining team,
Hmm.
young talent. I really like the direction of the Charlotte Hornets. Big bummer though is the Charlotte Hornets announcer is one of the best in the league.
Hmm.
And I saw that none of the local announcers are going to be able to announce any bit of the first round here of the NBA playoffs.
Oh
They're
wow.
going to leave it up to mainstream broadcasters. So, I mean, yeah, they're good, but kind of BS. Like,
Hmm.
there's a lot of great local talent for the
Yeah,
NBA.
yeah. It's sort of saying like, oh, we're not going to let Vince Scully announce because we're letting the local, big TV broadcasters announce. It's like you guys are insane if you guys don't let him announce.
Agreed. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's ludicrous. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but
God.
that's the East playing tournament. The West, something we might look at a little closer. Number 8 versus 7, we got the Blazers versus the Suns. That'll be a good game. Um, I
Hmm.
think Suns win it. I think Suns have a decent squad. You know, Brooks is showing what he could do there. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, that team in general. And Blazers are a surprising team to be this good for me. With who they got rid of Simmons and free Simmons, I think it was. Um, but yeah,
Mhm.
they're playing well.
Yeah, Portland certainly a team that's offloaded a lot of their talent, opted to get picks
Hmm.
or just a slew of kind of random players,
Yeah.
quite frankly. And it's kind of played to be worth it. Danny
Hmm.
Avdija has been phenomenal. He's a great
Yeah.
player. You have Drew Holiday now there. You have Donovan Clingan, who, good young big man.
Yeah.
I think that there's a lot of good elements to Portland. I do enjoy seeing Portland be relevant again. It's been since, Dame days to kind of get back there.
Hmm.
So pretty cool because there's been some rough years of Portland basketball.
Hmm.
But yeah, I still, I agree with you. I think Phoenix has been really surprising this season as
Hmm.
well. Offloading KD to Houston and then
Hmm.
to perform this well. Like
Yeah.
honestly, I think we kind of talked like NBA preseason. I think we kind of talked Phoenix being like complete duds
Yeah.
and just falling off planet Earth. But
Hmm.
yeah,
They
I mean,
they kept in it.
they did. They sure did. So yeah, you have Booker, you have like you mentioned with
Brooks.
Brooks. It's a good squad. They can
Yeah.
perform. They're at home. Um, so yeah, I think Phoenix advances, but I don't really see them going much further. They're just one of those
Uh,
teams that, yeah, I think they'll win, but that's about it. That's kind of how I
yeah,
feel about Philly.
yeah. No, yeah. We'll see what they do. And then the 10 versus 9, it's a little matchup for us. Warriors
Oh
versus
yeah.
Clippers. Um, like I say, we're on a hot streak the way the Warriors been playing. I don't know how much you guys feel like you guys could win. If we lose
Sucks.
to you, I'm gonna be a little embarrassed. I will say that. You know, if you guys let Bronny do what you guys did and you don't let us win, I will be mad.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, John, the way I see this game going, we're going to be really, really competitive, possibly have a lead by the end of the third quarter. Fourth quarter, total disaster. We lose by 15. We're just going to
Oh,
find a way
dang.
to do it. Yeah. But honestly, I won't be sad. I just hope this means we can move on from pods, have a good reset all together with the franchise,
Yeah,
maybe find a new GM, go a different direction, let the owner buy the San Diego Padres somehow, move on with life. I think it
yeah.
would be great. Got to find a way. But yeah, honestly, the way your Clippers have been playing, yeah, most
Hmm.
expensive ticket of this playoff so far,
Yeah,
and for obvious reasons. I
yeah,
think LA could win.
yeah. Yeah, it'll be a good game. And then I think if we play the Blazers, we'll struggle with the big guy, but I still think we have a solid squad to be able to win him. And then, like I said, we go against OKC. Not really looking forward to that if we end up getting out of this playing tournament, but it is what it is.
God, that would be so great though, watching like
Uh,
Kawhi take down OKC.
yeah.
I'll be too annoyed to watch that series if Golden State advances. I don't think I have the mental capacity
To deal with
to
it.
even try. Yeah. I
Uh,
think I'd rather get angry at something else.
yeah. No, yeah, we'll
Uh,
see. But yeah, those are the playing tournaments, and then just I think early predictions. You know, we could dive deeper into the playoffs after the playing games. But first take, just looking at the playoffs, Detroit versus the winner of that one playoff game, Boston Celtics versus the 76ers Magic winner, Knicks versus the Hawks, Cavaliers versus Raptors. Who do you think takes the East overall, Tim?
um, I don't know. I kind of think the Celtics do. I think that you have Tatum coming in late in the year. I know he's coming off of a crazy injury, but I don't know. In a sense, you can kind of see him as being pretty fresh,
Mm-hmm.
energy wise. I think that what that coaching staff has been able to do with a limited, quote unquote,
Yeah.
limited roster, a roster that maybe you would have for at first thought might not perform that well without Tatum, in what they've done and how dominant they've
Mm-hmm.
looked. Um, yeah, tough team to beat.
Yeah.
I honestly think that they have the upper hand in the East. So
Mm-hmm.
I think Celtics. I think Celtics take it. I think
Mm-hmm.
Cleveland is right there, but yeah, I think Celtics take it.
Yeah, I'm on the same boat. I think the Celtics take it. I think the one team that can maybe compete will be the Detroit Pistons because the Pistons
Yeah,
got that big element, Cade Cunningham. But what the Celtics have, what they did prior to Tatum returning, nobody thought. And I think with Tatum, and if they get, he could be on a minute restriction, but what he brings to the court is just game changing, and I don't think many teams will be able to stop it.
for sure. Is Cade Cunningham back and healthy?
I think he was supposed to be for the playoffs, but
Okay.
let's see. What's the news? Nothing shows like seems like he will be playing.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I agree with you. I think Detroit and the talent that they have at the leadership of Cade Cunningham, I think that's a tough team to reckon with. And
Yeah.
they have the coach that the Bucks shouldn't have fired, right? So
Hmm.
um I yeah, a lot of good
Yeah.
leadership there. I
Yeah.
think that the Pistons are going to be really tough.
Yeah. They'll be tough. It'll be a good game to watch. seeing Detroit play. But yeah,
Yep.
that's the East. West, we got OKC versus one of the play-in tournament winners, San Antonio versus the Blazers, Suns winner, Nuggets versus the Timberwolves, and then the Lakers versus the Rockets. Who do you got coming
Hmm.
out of the West?
Nuggets have been really hot. They've been playing some very good basketball down the stretch. I don't think it's going to be enough though. That first series, I think is arguably going to be the best one. The Nuggets Timberwolves,
Oh
we
yeah.
saw it years back. Like Anthony Edwards just has a different side to him. Like
Mhm.
obviously phenomenal, but he has a different side to him when he plays the Nuggets.
Yeah.
Like it's just if there's, an upper echelon prime Anthony Edwards, it's when he plays the Nuggets. So I think that's a great game. They're a very undervalued six seed. Um, so I think that's going to be a great, first round.
Mhm.
I do think overall out of the West, I'm going to take the Spurs. I
Okay.
think that the Spurs are a better team than the Thunder. I think that I think at just we talked about it, a couple of weeks ago. What Victor Wembanyama, he brings that old school mentality of just like, put the dollar signs aside. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here for revenge, and it's against Chet Holmgren and the rest of OKC, and he wants to
Mhm.
prove a point. He wants to win, and I think that's why Wemby is so great for the NBA.
Mhm.
If it weren't for the injuries, I think the Lakers would be a big name. I do worry about Reeves and Doncic. I know Doncic is coming back from Spain
Mhm.
right now. It's dicey. It's
Mhm.
dicey with Reeves included. And LeBron's good. Just don't trust him enough.
Yeah. Yeah, no, the Lakers, the one thing with like NBA playoffs, it's long
Yep.
playoff series. It's not just, 5 weeks and it's over like NFL. It's almost like I feel like almost like 2 full months of playoff basketball and it's competitive.
Yeah.
So it's a hard one. I'm gonna go Timberwolves coming out of the West. I like what they
Ooh,
have. I think they're gonna
nice.
upset and show. I think it's a team that would have been up there in the one, two, three spots, but a few injuries. But I think what Anthony Edwards is gonna bring, he's gonna bring what you sort of mentioned with Victor Wembanyama, that old school basketball, and I think
Yep.
it's gonna help him get through the Nuggets. And then I think they're gonna have to go. They're gonna have to go through San Antonio.
Yep.
That'll be an amazing matchup. And then OKC. And then
Yep.
I think by then OKC, the, their batteries are gonna be drained because they'll have a tough matchup. And I think refs are going to be keeping a close eye on OKC because there's a lot of complaints about all the calls they get.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. I think that I don't know. We saw a little bit of tides turning with some of SGA stuff towards the end of
Mhm.
the year, but I don't know. If it, I just can't watch them. I can't watch them in the playoffs. It's just I don't care all 30 OKC fans that came at us a couple weeks back. Like, dude, it's just terrible basketball. It sucks.
Yeah,
If you're not an OKC fan, it sucks. It's not good. Come on.
yeah.
It's better. They're better off the court with the entertainment stuff, than they are just being enjoyable on the. I
They
can't
should
do
just created
it.
their own TikTok page, the OKC TikTok page, with Jared
Yeah,
McCain and Shay just recording all the time.
exactly. Yeah, straight off the plane.
Yeah.
Saw that over this past weekend.
Uh, no,
Good
but
stuff.
yeah, that's NBA playoffs. And the one of the last things with NBA that we were going to talk is we talked about it 2 weeks ago. Vegas getting a team, and we were going to come up with
Hmm.
team names. So I created five. My first one I'll give you, Tim. I'm gonna go Vegas Bandits, and the reason I picked that is I remember always driving to Vegas. It's always the first hotels. I think it's outside of Vegas. I don't know if it's fully in, but Whiskey Pete's. The cowboy always
Hmm.
there. So that's why I thought Bandits, just a little bit of Vegas, I can't say it's really Vegas history because it's not in Las Vegas, but everybody from California that would go to Vegas, you pass by it. Back in the day, it was the most popular place. The outlet there was always popping. A lot different now, but I thought Vegas Bandits would be a good one.
Very nice. I like it. I am gonna go the Las Vegas headliners. I just think, you have headline
Yeah.
shows, you have, all these acts that go on showbiz kind of energy. Yeah, gonna go to headliners. Don't know what you would do for a symbol at all. What your mascot might be. Um, your mascot might just be a sign.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just,
I think for, headlining, it's like create your own like little head bobblehead, like Dead Mouse, Marshmallow, they
Mm,
always have that. It's just create
yeah,
something that's Vegas for basketball.
there it is. I like it.
That's
It's a good call.
a good one. That's a good one. The next one
Uh,
or the next one I
no,
have
you're
is
good.
the Vegas Jokers. Jokers, playing cards, and I think if they bring the Joker, perfect fit.
Absolutely. God, can you imagine? That's their first signer.
Yeah.
Next, gonna go Las Vegas High Rollers.
Okay.
I think that, High Rollers Club, pretty cool club to be a part of.
Yeah.
You have season ticket holders. Name them the High Rollers. It's pretty badass.
That's pretty cool.
Uh, yeah, it'd be sick. High Rollers Club, special behind the scenes stuff. Yeah, Las Vegas High Rollers. Just make your mascot dice something. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of my next ones, I have a slash on it because I don't know if it's appropriate to use the first one, but I put the Las Vegas
Hmm.
Mafia or
Nice.
the Las Vegas Syndicate. Gets away a little bit of that mafia, negativity probably, but for me, it's like that's who ran Las Vegas back in the day. The mafia did. We all know that. So sort of bringing some of that old Vegas back.
Yeah. No, I like that. I think that's super sick. Um, yeah, I have so many. Which ones do I want to go with next? Let's see. Let's go with the Las Vegas Sinners. I kind of
Okay.
like that. It's called Sin City.
Yeah.
A little play on Sinners, the movie. I don't know. I haven't even
Yeah.
seen the movie. Probably has zero relevance. But yeah, the Sinners, you go there. A lot of people just say, no, I did not gamble that much. But in fact, they did gamble that
Yeah.
much. No, I did not. I went there
Yeah.
for a business conference. Yes, I did play 12 hours at the slots.
Yeah.
Yeah, Las Vegas Sinners, probably not a great, you look like a bunch of lying cheats, but kind of a cool
Well,
name.
if you keep it related to the movie Sinners, it's vampires. So, that's a good
Oh,
mascot.
that'd be pretty sick.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like
Because
that.
vampires is just really basic. Sinners is a little bit more mysterious.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like
Yeah.
that one.
Okay. Next one I have is the Las Vegas Diamond Crew. Uh, I was thinking of like GTA, the Diamond Heist, the Diamond Crew. Vegas is
Mm,
about jewelry, all that stuff, the Ocean's 11 type thing. So I just did Diamond Crew, Diamond mascot. The Diamond Club will be, the VIP section.
yep, I like that. This probably would never happen. I could say that about my next two, actually. The Las Vegas houses. I don't know how you want to say it, but the house always wins.
Hmm.
So I think that you have the sentiment of just riding the
Yeah.
house. Um, House always wins. Good sentiment there. Just you could even do the Las Vegas pit bosses.
Hmm.
Just
Oh,
have
that's
them
a
be
good
a
one.
pit boss, look like one.
Yeah.
But they always win. So.
Yeah. That's a good one. I was thinking of something like that. This last one, I don't think it would be it. it's too close to another team in a different sport, but the Las Vegas gold miners, because like I always feel like
Hmm.
when you think of Vegas, you think about the mines, gold mining, things like that. But I always feel like I feel like it's just too close to the 49ers. But it's a
Yeah.
different sport, so it's still okay, maybe.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I think
Yeah.
that's sick. I have one and then I have a quick consolation, I suppose. Um, the Las Vegas Stardust.
Oh, that's a
Because
good one.
Stardust, you got it in Vegas.
Yeah.
Um, another one I thought of was the Las Vegas Rich Pauls.
That's
You have the name Rich in there.
yeah.
You look to get rich in Vegas, and then, Rich Paul might be a
Yeah.
guy that's interested in buying the team, name it after
Yeah.
himself. Um, Another consolation, Las Vegas Mirage, kind of cool.
That's a good one.
Mirage in the
Yeah.
desert, Mirage
Yeah.
Casino.
The Las Vegas Islanders, but almost like Pacific Islanders, because you remember the Mirage had the
Oh,
volcano,
yeah.
you know, something like that
Yep.
maybe. But like I
The
said,
Las Vegas.
but then you get too close to that like cultural piece, and what with the
Ah.
Redskins, yeah, it might be.
Well, you do have Newark Islanders
Yeah,
hockey.
yeah,
Good work. Good pull it off.
yeah.
It's a good point. Um, You have what about the Las Vegas buffets? Ah, selfish. Bring them back.
They gotta bring him back.
Oh man, that's a
Yeah,
headline if I've ever seen one. Las
uh,
Vegas Heat Wave was another one I kind of thought of.
that's
I
a good
thought
one.
that'd be kind of sick. Yeah,
Yeah,
the Heat Wave, but too
uh,
similar to the Heat. But if you want to
yeah,
involve LeBron, maybe the Heat might get him back there.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yep.
But those are some team names. Like I say, we'll see what the team names become. But these are just suggestions we have. We think we have some good ones, so hopefully they take our thoughts and ideas.
Yep.
But we'll sort of see. But that's NBA
Yeah.
talk, and we'll go end with some Coachella talk. Coachella this past weekend, weekend one. Great performances. And I think one thing we've done the last 2 years, Tim, since doing this podcast is we try to predict next year's headliners and just some of the acts. You got it right with Justin Bieber. You mentioned
Ayo.
it last year. Justin Bieber being the headline. I don't think we got. I don't think we mentioned Sabrina Carpenter. I think we mentioned Olivia Rodrigo last year. Uh,
Hmm.
um,
Sounds right.
Carol G we didn't mention. I know I think I thought about I said Cascade. Cascade was there. Great closing performance last
Yep.
night. He played Sunday night. Amazing. Enjoyed
That's
that
a
one.
great sneaky pick though, because not a
Yeah.
lot of people would have even thought of him being present. So,
Yeah. Yeah, so he was a good one, but for next year we'll give five each. So we'll sort of do a snake draft. I'll start, that you do two, I'll do one, and this will be our top 10 people that we want to see next year at Coachella. But one of my first ones, this one's probably a long shot, but I would still want to see it. I don't think he's ever headlined or he did do Coachella quite a while. But Kid Cudi, that's who
oh, that'd be
I
so
think
sick.
I
That's a
think would
great
be
pick.
a great headliner.
Mm.
Just the songs he has, and bringing David Guetta. David Guetta's, I don't know if you saw his performance, his set, this past weekend. He's
Mhm.
not on weekend two, so those that are going to weekend two are gonna miss out on him. But great set, man. Brought out some great people. I think he brought out J-Lo too. So very, very fun. So if you haven't seen his set from Coachella this past weekend, gotta watch it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. DJ sets always awesome.
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
Um,
and with Kid Cudi too. The other thing, the Project X song, dude.
uh,
Once that drops, that place would just erupt.
oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if that's one that we get to join. Good
Yeah,
Lord. Um, yeah, Pursuit of Happiness. Good
yeah.
Lord. Yeah, no, phenomenal first choice there, John. Really appreciate that one. I'm gonna go in between a couple. You know, I don't know what I want to do. should I go somebody I want to see or somebody I think could be there? Somebody I want to see, which I'll do my first choice is
Yeah,
Bruno Mars. I don't think he's headlined yet. I think
yeah,
Bruno Mars, he continues to come out with music. Had a funny one-liner this past
yeah,
weekend about how he's paid off his debt.
yeah.
Um, but Bruno Mars, man, he just I love his music. It's consistent. He has a hell of a voice that he can make anything sound godly.
Mm-hmm.
I just I think he would be a great headliner. And I think that the theatrics associated with it
Hmm.
would be phenomenal. Up there with the
Yeah.
best.
Yeah, I think so too. And honestly, like him making that comment of he paid his debt to Vegas, he doesn't know anybody. I think
Hmm.
that's why he's going on tour right now because it's like he's not stuck to Vegas. He's not giving back to Vegas, and now everything he does is for
Mm,
him. So I could see him doing Coachella. I had him on my list of people, so you got me there before I was able to pick him.
love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's great. Do I go again or you want to go
Yeah.
for this next one?
Yeah. You
Okay.
go again.
Ah, it's so tough. All right, so I did that. I think I don't think she's headlined it. Billie Eilish,
She's headline.
she headlined. She's headlined. Pass. Gonna go Morgan Wallen. That's Morgan
Okay.
Wallen. I will go Morgan Wallen. I think that his tours have been huge. He's sold out stadiums, not arenas. I think that he could be one of those kind of big crossovers between country in making it even more streamlined than it already has been with
Hmm.
Taylor Swift and numerous others. But like I think that he has a big enough crowd to headline something like Coachella. So
Yeah.
yeah, Morgan Wallen. We'll go Morgan Wallen.
Yeah.
A lot of good
That's
collabs too.
yeah, that's a good one. And I think if they could do it, they will one up Stagecoach. Because like I say, I would expect
Mm,
Morgan Wallen to be more of a Stagecoach guy.
you bet.
But like I say, I there's nothing in the contract saying that he can't go to Coachella. Stagecoach is more country music. Coachella's just music festival. It's not a specific music. So I
Hmm.
think it'll be good. I think that would be a good pick.
Absolutely.
Next, I'm gonna go to who I've gone the last 2 years, Olivia Rodrigo. She hasn't done it yet. Coming out with a new album, I think mid-June. She's dropping it. So, like I said, she'll be probably be in tour during this time, but taking her little, long break from the stadium tours to do Coachella. Big name with a lot of the younger crowd, and I think they always look for that name. So that's why I think this could be her year for Olivia Rodrigo.
I like it. Yep.
Then,
She's great.
then I'm gonna bring up someone classic. I think Coldplay. So many hits that they just could play on. They haven't done Coachella for quite a few years. And I think what would be great about this is sort of bring back the same type of camera you brought out with that Kiss cam that got that one dude in trouble and just play off
Uh-huh.
of that still. But Coldplay, like I say, a lot of great songs. People, everybody knows them. And then, like I say, you can bring out so many artists to sort of collab with you.
Yeah. No, phenomenal. Um, kind of a newsworthy take here. I wonder if Coldplay was playing for the Diana Rossini and Vrabel photos
Hey,
that
maybe,
were
maybe.
exposed this past weekend. Those are something.
Could be.
Yeah, no, for the camera work, I think that's a
Yeah.
great choice, Sean. Great stuff. All right, I think my next pick, because kind of garnering a lot of recent news. All for good reason. Miley Cyrus. I think
I had her on my list there.
did you? A little snipe there. Yeah, Miley Cyrus. Kind of recently rumored for some stuff, but
Mhm.
also, we had Hannah Montana reunion, right? Another
Yeah.
episode there. A lot of people tuned in for that, but also she just has so many classics. I saw her with Jen, my wife, back God, a decade ago. Saw her in concert at Staples Center. Was a great show. That was the Wrecking Ball tour.
Hmm.
So a lot of great theatrics there. Don't know if she'll go that crazy with the haircut, everything, but hey, classic Hannah Montana, Miley Cyrus vibes. There's a
Hmm.
lot of great history there with her music. I think it would be fun.
Yeah, that'll be a good one.
Then, hmm, so many people you can choose from. Next, I'm going to go for the audience here. I'm going to say BTS. I
I had
think
that too.
that,
Right,
dude,
sniping me.
my bad, John. I just think that, we talked a lot about K-pop here,
Hmm.
and how, it's been huge, obviously, the last few years, but this year alone, I feel like it's just taken even bigger strides, and you have
Hmm.
a group like BTS coming in, could bring that K-pop, influence to Coachella. I think it'd be
Yeah.
awesome. And I mean, honestly, K-pop gets a crowd incredibly hyped. So,
Hmm.
yeah, I think it would be great.
Yeah, yeah, K-pop. I think before this year, I don't think K-pop Demon Hunter blew up when they
Mhm.
announced all the artists. So now it's really taken off with all the awards. Golden, K-pop Demon Hunter has won. So I think I would say it's probably between them first because I don't think they haven't had like Coachella, and I think they're trying to make a comeback. But if it isn't them, I think they'll bring Blackpink back to headline, the other K-pop group,
Okay.
the girl
Yeah.
group. So, but we'll see. But yeah, two snipes there, Tim. Um,
Yeah.
it makes
Gotcha.
me work, but I have a list of like 15.
Yeah.
Uh,
You got more ammo. There you go.
uh, let's see. All right, so I want to pick one that I think it'll be for the people, and then one I would want to see. The
Okay.
first one for the people, Rosalia. This is just one
Mm.
of the big artists that is coming up. A lot of great collabs with like Bad Bunny, but just really making hits and just making waves in the music industry. So, and like I say, bring sort of that Spanish. I think we've seen a lot more of the Spanish music making some headlines. So, will be the
Hmm.
second, female Latin artist to headline Coachella. So
Awesome.
I think she is in the running to be a headliner there.
Okay.
And then one for me, I've always enjoyed her music. It'll be Halsey. I enjoy her
Oh,
music a
okay.
lot. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll work because she's been having some beef with Columbia record drama. Um, Columbia isn't letting her do another album because her last one didn't meet their expectations. So they're blocking her from doing another album. They're not funding it. So without a record company support, it might be a little hard. But I think if she headlines or even just goes to Coachella, it will sort of bring her back to where she is and show Columbia that, don't stop her just because she didn't make the
Mhm.
money you were hoping she was.
Yeah. I hate the command that the labels have over these great artists.
Hmm.
It's a bummer.
Yeah.
Um, Great choice. Great choice. Yeah. I haven't heard her name enough recently
Yeah.
because she had a hell of a run.
Yeah, she
Um,
did.
and it's all great music. Can I throw two out there?
Yeah.
Okay. Next up, I'm gonna go Tate McRae. I think that
That's another one.
is that another snipe?
Yeah, I had
Son
it
of a
on my
gun,
list.
Tim. She has been great. Jen listens to a lot of her music,
Yeah.
so secondhand listening here. I think she's a great artist. A lot of great pop music. She had SNL appearance this year. I think that she's great. A lot of good collabs. I think that she does a great job incorporating dance into
Mhm.
her concerts
Yeah.
as well. So the theatrics will certainly be there. Then I'm going to go somebody really up and coming, but songs that get stuck in my head 101. Olivia Dean, out of the UK.
Hmm.
just that song, talk to me,
Yeah.
be the man that I need. Yep.
Yeah.
Just great song. She has other songs, of course. But I don't know, her stage presence is great. She's really good
hmm
vibes. I feel like she seems like that person that really, really, really enjoys what she does. Like she
hmm
just seems genuinely happy
Yeah.
going out there and performing. And she's honestly taken the world by storm. Like I feel like she's one of those performers
hmm
that, based off of hype alone,
Yeah.
could definitely be up there, to be a headliner.
Yeah. Yeah. I see her showing up next year. I don't, depending on who they get, I don't know if she'll be like the main headliner, but she will still
Yeah.
play probably like towards 9, 10 p.m. Maybe not the main
Yeah.
stage, maybe that outdoor stage, but yeah, she'll be there and she'll do amazing. So
Hmm.
yeah, that's a good one. I like I say, I have a lot, so here's a few, just quick. Shakira,
Love it.
just big name. Never have done it. Dua
Yep.
Lipa, another one, hasn't headlined. So many big hits. I feel like
Yep.
she should be there. Selena Gomez, I don't think she's ever even performed at
Hmm.
Coachella, so I think that would be a
Yeah.
good one. These
Benny
next three,
Blanco collab.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Be
And if you
sick.
think about it, Benny Blanco has produced so many songs.
Oh, it's outrageous.
The artists he could include would be crazy.
He
Uh,
made the early 2010s
yeah,
practically.
he did.
Yeah.
That was him.
Yeah.
These next three are probably long shots.
Okay.
Two of them for sure. Two of them I just made shit up.
Nice.
The first one, Drake,
Yeah.
would
Yeah.
be electric. It would blow the roof off, but
I
I don't
love
know if
it.
he will. This next one, I called it a little different. I called it the Kardashian clan. So
Oh.
bringing YE, so Yeezy, bringing Tyga, Travis Scott,
Nice.
and then at the end, bringing Timothy Chalamet to do one of his rapping performances.
Oh.
Would just destroy it. It'd be amazing.
Yeah. No, could we also get like Chris Humphrey's dunk in there as well
Maybe.
if we want to really throw it back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bring Humphrey. You could probably have like a mini basketball game going on there with all the Kardashian
Yeah.
exes or even
Lamar.
current. Yeah.
Oh,
You
love
know,
it. Hell
Booker.
yeah. Yeah, Booker. Oh
Uh,
yeah, dude.
uh,
Ooh,
but
now
I
we're
have that
talking.
one. And then I had a EM Tongi. I don't think he would
Ah,
headline,
yeah.
but I think him being in Coachella brings a different vibe, that Islander vibe of music. He has amazing music. I've seen him live. I've enjoyed it. But
Mhm.
he could bring great collabs and just bring that Islander music. So bringing like J Boog, Common Kings, even bringing like the Jamaicans, Sean Paul, Shaggy,
Yep.
would just be electric.
Yeah. No, I love those vibes. Yeah, if I'm not rocking Ian Tongi Waikiki
Yeah.
as I head into Hawaii, I've done myself wrong.
Yeah.
uh,
Uh,
just he has the pipes of an angel. It's
yeah.
just outrageous.
Yeah.
And honestly, there's no honestly, I have an Apple like good vibes playlist, and most of it is just Islander Hawaiian
Yeah.
music. It's
It's
just
great.
it brings you to a place that
Yeah.
like it's just like the sun is shining and you're having
hmm
a great day.
Yeah. It
So
is.
that's a great choice. I
Yeah.
really like that one.
Yeah. But those are our choices for Coachella. Like I said, let us know
Chris
who you
Brown.
guys.
Can I throw
Chris
Chris Brown out there real quick?
Chris Brown's.
Because
He's making a
he's
comeback.
making some music too.
He
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
And if he gets up on the tight ropes and starts flying, like that dude, nobody does it better.
Nah, nobody
Nobody
does.
flies through
Nobody
a
could do
arena better.
that. Yeah. No, but yeah,
Good
that'll be a good
stuff.
one. I think he's starting a possible tour with Usher, I think I read somewhere.
I saw that. Yes,
Yeah.
and I think that's confirmed. Pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so that'll be good. But yeah, and then a little Coachella recap. Justin Bieber's set, great. I liked it. I know there's a lot of haters out there hating on it. It was not
Hmm.
elaborate. I thought it was basic. I liked his little YouTube stuff. I don't know why, just him reminiscing, listening to the fans of what they wanted to hear. Um, like I say, this kid, I call him a kid because I still think of the young Justin. but he's been through
Yep.
a lot of hard times, and him coming back to do this, amazing. And then also he's the only one that made a profit during Coachella. So kudos to
Yeah.
him, and I'll sort of share why in a bit.
Okay. Yeah, no, $10 million, dollars, right?
Yeah.
Highest paid performer of all time with Coachella.
Yeah.
Um, I think the biggest, I don't know, if you even want to call it this, biggest conundrum or whatever I'd have with his performance is it just lacked the theatrics. He went out there,
Hmm.
with the desk, the computer, the screen in the back,
Yeah.
paid the most of all time, and then that's all he kind of brought to it. But on the other hand, if you enjoy his music, I think that his opening song was phenomenal. I thought it was a great choice. And then his reminiscing through it all, it's just a dude that wants to hang out and reminisce, is what
Yeah.
I gathered from all of that.
Hmm.
He played the D's nuts. And that's a that's a long time joke.
Uh-huh.
A lot of people have go back to that.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things. If you're a Justin Bieber fan, I feel like he can kind of do no wrong.
Yeah.
Um, we're a Justin Bieber podcast here,
Yeah.
John.
Yeah,
I
we
I
support him.
I I thought it was great. I thought it was fine.
Yeah.
You know, but if I were to depict anything, it was that with the theatrics, if that's
Yeah.
what you were kind of going for.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I do want to give a big shout out to Sabrina Carpenter. I thought that was incredible. I thoroughly enjoyed that. It even
Yeah.
got Jenna joined me on the couch and watch. I played it. We had some family over, and we were just kind of tuning into it. Bringing out Will Ferrell was the cherry on top, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Love and adore Will Ferrell. I thought he brought like a funny element to it, but just driving in the car, he brought out his name is blanking on me, the guy from Yellowstone, being the
Mhm.
cop. Pretty cool. Riding the old school,
Yeah.
car out of the stage.
Hmm.
Um, just fit the Coachella vibe really well. I
Yeah.
thought she did great. Big shout out to Sabrina Carpenter because I think she brought out all of the elements. I thought it
Yeah.
was awesome.
Yeah, no, she brought out a lot. A lot of people did, and that's what I was going to talk about. Why Bieber profited the most because, yes, he got paid 10 million, but what artists have to do, they pay for all those expenses. So stage
Mm,
design, production comes out of their pocket. Dancers, band members, DJs comes out of their pocket. The travel, outfits, visuals, rehearsal, it's everything they get paid for. They have to sort of put some of that back into that production. So that's why I'm saying Justin Bieber did very basic and came out probably with the most money. I see something here that I looked up. Cardi B, when she did it a few years ago, she was paid a total of 140K, but she spent 300K on production. So she gave her
mm,
own money to make it. But like I say, but the reason why you do Coachella, even if you're going to pay money, is the exposure. Massive
mm.
exposure because millions of people are watching that online. I know
Yep.
so many people that were watching it. You see it on TikTok. Everybody was doing Couchchella, sitting on their
Yeah.
couch enjoying it. You know,
Yep.
the the boost you're gonna get on Apple Music, Spotify, all these streaming services of music, it's just gonna go up. And then also like we talked about it I think a few years ago that Cascade mentioned. This is the start of tour season for a lot of people. So once you play Coachella, you have a fire set spending money on your show. And yeah, you might lose a few hundred K, but your tour sales are going to skyrocket. It's worth it. And then, like I say, the cultural moments, you're going to be remembered in history. Brand deal, sponsorships. If you do amazing, people are going to want to work with you and join, have you do things. So, Sabrina Carpenter, I think that's what she did. Carol G, her set design, her production, amazing. The fireworks.
Yeah.
Like I said, she probably paid a good amount of all her money that she got paid to do this on that. But like I said, she's making a lot more outside of Coachella.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, and she made headlines for Latin music
Yeah,
and bringing it to Coachella. So, yeah, it was a great performance as well. And that was freaking awesome. and electric. I just think when you have good vibes like that, I just think it makes all the difference in the world
Hmm.
for, what you can do with an audience. So,
Yeah.
um, awesome. Makes a lot of sense with Bieber. I mean, dude's gonna pocket me. It was 10 million, so 9 million, we'll call it 800,000. It's up there.
Uh,
Not much probably went into it.
yeah.
Computer desk, his outfit,
Yeah.
and just travel expense.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Well,
um,
YouTube Premium because there was no ads
ah,
during YouTube. Remember
it's a great
that.
point. That is a great point. Yeah, and very worth it. Can you imagine if he had
Yeah.
ads?
That would have been hilarious.
Let me sign in real quick. Yeah, upgrade. That'd
Uh,
be,
uh,
just relevancy right
yeah.
there. But yeah, that was really cool. Um, in I wanna I haven't heard of this person before, but is it Anima? The one that after Sabrina Carpenter, they canceled it due to strong
Hmm.
winds, stuff like that. A lot of people were really disappointed. A lot of people were also saying it's just a screen. Is that true? Is there an
I
actual performer out there?
it is someone.
Okay.
I don't know if it's AI, but yeah, I think it's supposed to be like visually stunning. So hopefully we see it
Mm,
weekend too.
okay.
Like I said, I heard a lot of hype around it, so I'm curious what it is. But
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I was actually waiting at midnight for
I
the performance to happen, and then I was like, so it's
the
not going to
win.
happen.
Yeah.
Because out of just curiosity's sake, I kind of wanted to stick around and watch it because I've never heard of them. Now,
Mhm.
you know, again, big EDM podcast here, big fan of it. It's just I hadn't heard of them, so I thought,
Yeah.
hey, stay tuned, take a look. I did look up some YouTube videos though with it after being canceled, and kind of like big figurine, on screen, lots of movement there,
Hmm.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
I would, shout out quickly though, EDM scene, the Disclosure
Oh yeah.
and bring out the hits. I thought that
That
would, oh
was
God, the
that was
crowd, the
awesome.
crowd was so hyped.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was sick. Love
Yeah,
that.
I was watching that one. Moby had a great set, man. Just
Okay.
classic EDM. Honestly, for me, EDM won this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Zulan. I don't know if you've seen her. DJ, EDM
Don't think so.
DJ. Always wears soccer jerseys. So Argentinian
Nice.
DJ, but she played a song that is really played a lot in Argentina, but it just got me pumped for the World Cup. It had those
Nice.
World Cup feels. So I was so stoked when I was watching that. Um, Roz, another great EDM. Like I say, David Guetta, Cascade. There were so many. Afrojack was there. Like I said, there's so much EDM this
Yeah.
past weekend. I feel like they won. Um,
Mm-hmm.
one I really liked, Somber. Somber had a
Yeah, I like
great
him.
set. He had
Yeah.
great songs. I like that he brought out a Billy Corrigan from the Smashing Pumpkins. That 1979
Yep.
combo, amazing. I think it's probably one of the top moments of this past weekend that I enjoyed.
Yeah, I too really like Somber's music. Up and coming artist, he's young, hopefully a lot more, on the way.
Mm,
Yeah, great content,
yeah.
great music there. We have Diplo bring out MIA, kind of
Yeah, that was
reminiscent
good.
vibes there with the music. That was pretty
uh,
cool. Watched bits and pieces of Teddy Swims. Again, another guy with phenomenal vocals.
yes.
Great performance also. Um, he was before Sabrina, right? Right before?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was one or
Yeah.
two before.
Okay. Yeah, no, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Trying to think
Yeah.
of who else. I didn't know it was as popular to stream Coachella the way,
Oh yeah.
like you and I
Yeah.
did this past weekend. That
A
was
lot of
sick.
yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. I liked
Yeah.
it.
It was good. Like I say, you save some money, but like I say, the experience is probably one that you'll never forget. With Teddy
Yeah.
Swims, I would say if Teddy Swims listens to this by any chance prior to the next performance, if you bring out Vanessa Carlton again, because he brought out Vanessa Carlton, did the White Girls little song.
Yeah.
You
Thousand
got
Miles.
you gotta get Terry Crews in there to do
Oh,
the. It would just
yeah.
be amazing.
Bite his
Just
lip
be
going,
just, yeah,
no, 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 no,
just
no.
be in a fake car there and just do that little look while they're singing.
Dude, if you would
Uh,
have driven out like a ballet thing,
yeah.
oh, dude. And then if you actually got the Wyans, like at least one of them to be in there with the white
Yeah.
chicks, dude, that would have been so sick.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been great.
Yeah.
Money would have been off the charts.
Yeah.
But Teddy Swims, you get the invite
Yeah.
again. If you headline, um, we
Would
didn't
be.
mention him. Headline
Yeah.
future.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a must. That'd be
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, so there's a lot going on. Like I said, we've been chatting for a while. I think we'll save these other two topics I have of Coachella for next weekend after this coming weekend of Coachella. But one of them's
Perfect.
prices. We're like you
Ah,
mentioned, we're big foodies, so I saw a lot of the food prices. Want to review them with you, but it'll take a while because we will dive deep
yeah.
into the food conversation.
Oh, no doubt. And we did last year, and I can't
Yeah.
wait to do it again this year.
Yeah. And then another one, there was some posts I saw that people saying that those over 40 don't belong at Coachella.
Hmm.
I got my thoughts on that. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
so we'll have a little discussion, sort of see how this weekend goes, see some of the feedback on socials. Like I say, appreciate all those people that have been at Coachella posting their experience, food reviews, everything they've done, because it just really I think brings a lot to Coachella, um, and probably the future if anybody is ever interested in going, getting the ideas of how to go there, what to experience and stuff. And hey, hopefully Banter on the Rocks eventually can make it out to Coachella Musical Fest
Goals.
goals.
God, would be a phenomenal weekend.
It will be.
Ha, man, a lot of food, that's for sure.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, we'd make it poppin'.
Yeah.
I think the content would be incredible. So
Yeah.
yeah, absolute goals for next year. A little bit of FOMO watching it
Yeah.
from Coachella,
Yeah.
from Couchella, I should say.
Yeah.
But yeah, goals
Yeah.
for next year, John.
Yeah, goals for next year. But that's today's episode. Thanks everybody for listening and bantering with us today. As always, your support keeps us going, keeps us growing every week. And as always, do us a solid, hit that subscribe, hit that follow buttons if you're watching on YouTube, listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, Amazon, Amazon Music. Algorithm will always let you guys know when we drop new takes, new videos, new full length videos, and also just segments if you just want to listen to specific segments. We appreciate you guys listening, watching, whichever you do, which whatever we do drop. And as always, jump into the comments with your banter takes and tag what you want us to hear.
Absolutely. Same sentiment as what John has there. Hopefully, I start getting some more stuff up here on these walls, small walls.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, thank you guys so much. Staying tuned each and every week. Can't thank you guys enough. We're back in action.
Mhm.
Banter on the Rocks.
Yes.
Really fun podcast here, John. Great
Yes.
episode. We'll see
Yeah.
you guys very
But
soon.
yeah, thank
Peace.
you guys.
Enjoy your week.